Good morning, everyone. How you doing today? It's a pretty good morning out here. A little brisk. Um, I'm running a little bit slow because I haven't had my coffee. I gotta go let the vampires get me this morning, and it always sucks because their office doesn't open till 8 o'clock, and I wake up at 4. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome back to the channel. Um, we're gonna go over just a couple of things for the channel. I'm trying not to make the videos as long as I usually do. I'm kind of sure that you guys don't like the long videos, so we're gonna try to keep them as short as we can. I want to go over one of the finds that I found at my favorite antique store. I spoke to one of the owners, got permission to film in there, so my next trip to Bakersfield we will be going through one of my honey holes at one of the antique spots that I go through. All right, and I'll give them a shout out so you guys can, if you guys are in the area, you guys could go there, hit them up. There's some great knives. Not just knives. There's great antiques. All right. Anyways, let's get into it. Found this beautiful packaging, says genuine mother of pearl, and it's a case pocket knife, obviously, right there, as you guys couldn't see. Genuine mother of pearl pocket knife case. On the reverse, it says that it's a peanut ABSM abalone from 6/9/2010. When looking this one up, the information, this is a discontinued model. So it comes with this little box cover, this beautiful black felt hinge box, opens up, voila, you got your case peanut. Pull out your case peanut. If you lift the tab, oh, sorry about that, guys, I'm not showing you anything. If you lift the little tab on the box, you got your paperwork up under where the knife sits. Beautiful display box. And then you have this beautiful abalone. Look at all the color in that abalone. With that cute little bell. Look at that fire in there, man. All the different colors. This thing is pristine. Got the cute little bell. The workmanship that went into this one is very beautiful. The alignment, your main blade is kind of rubbing the pile side. Let's see if I can get that in there. Your main blade is on the pile side, and the centering on the other tool is nice. Down center, down Broadway, as you want to say. Get this main blade up. Look at that right there. Beautiful. Never used. It does have somebody's initials, SP, right there on the blade, but it's never been used. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of work. Beautiful art. Seen this one. I just had to have it for the collection. And this one, I feel like it's an investment piece. It's not a user, although I would love to use it. Oh, and I didn't mention, on the bolster, it has Case XX. If I could get that in there. Come on, guy. Anyways, the other tool is scissors. So this was an awesome gentleman's carry little peanut back in the day when, when it was produced. You got your knife. So when you're dressed up, you got your knife if you needed anything to cut in an emergency or clean your nails. And then you got your mustache beard trimmer. I love that. I really do. I love that. Got your mustache beard trimmer. Such a beautiful design. Such a beautiful piece of art. And you guys would never guess how much I picked this up for. Because when I looked this one up online in mint condition, I believe people are wanting around $280. I got this for $65. Blew my mind. I mean, the gentleman had more on it, but I talked him down because it had been sitting there for a while. And I don't know exactly how long it had been sitting there, but the very first time I had seen it was on my birthday last year in April. And we are currently in... What are we in? We're in February. So... It's been 8 months sitting there, not moved an inch. I guess there had been a lot of interest in it, but people weren't liking the price. So I talked to the gentleman, asked him if that was his best price, if he had any movement. He asked me what was my best, and not to come at him with a goofy amount because he knew what it was worth. And I understand. Us knife guys, we know what we're looking at. We know what we want. Oh, come on, get out of there. Okay. I don't know if you guys recall in one of my last videos, my mail call. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Okay, we received 3 camp knives with the multi-tools in there, the nice camp knives. Okay, I have already torn apart the Camco. I have all the pieces. Literally, I tore it apart. Took out all the pins. I still have the pins in the bolsters that I need to remove right there, as you can see. I need to remove the bolster pins. In further investigation on looking over the scales on this one, on the Camco, they're in good shape. There's no cracks, no breaks. Due to its age, they are fragile, but there's no cracks, no breaks. They had shrunk just a tad, but I believe we could use a filler. And they had play in them because the pins had come loose. There was a lot of issues going on in here. One of the main issues was with the awl. The awl had loosened up on there, and once again, it was just a pin issue. But what I am going to do, because we're going to do a full-blown restoration on the Camp King, this one I'm going to keep intact as is. It's going to be the full-on camp knife, but we're going to restore it. We're going to restore this one back to mint. The Camco, the idea I have, because the Camco and this Saber are very similar in size and width, and length and width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the awl, the can opener, bottle opener and screwdriver, and we're going to make a equal-ended moose rat. So it's going to be an equal-ended moose rat Frankenstein by Wicked Blades here. Alright, we're going to have 2 spear point blades on an equal-ended muskrat is what we're going to call it. It's going to be an equal-ended frame moose rat with a bell, camp knife, or not camp knife, because we're eliminating all the other items. So we're going to make it look like that. And it's going to have 1 saber blade, because 1 is a saber and 1 Camco. But dude, check that out. Tell me that does not look wicked. That's not going to look nice. An equal-ended moose rat. That's going to look cool. So this one, I'm going to tear this guy apart as well. Going to clean up everything. Like I said, I was like a kid in a candy store. You know, just fat kid in the candy store. I ripped into it without showing you guys and discussing what I'm going to be doing. But I'm not sure if you guys want to see a full cleanup, tear down, or if you guys want to just see the end result. Anyways, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do an equal-ended moose rat, double spear point blades with the bell. That's what we're going to make. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. And hopefully I'm going to be able to keep the same scales. If I cannot keep the original scales, then we're going to go a little bit wild here, guys. We're going to take and do an equal-ended moose rat with stag. What you guys think? Equal-ended Frankenstein moose rat with a bell and stag scales. I think that sounds pretty sick. I think it sounds pretty sick. We might go a little bit wild here. We're going to get a little bit crazy. But I think that'll be cool. I think that'll be cool. Alright. So that's the plan. Equal-ended moose. And possible stag scales. That's a possibility, depending on how these scales hold up during repairs. Okay, and then like I said, on the Camp King, we are just going to keep it all original, do a thorough cleanup and restoration, and I will show you guys on this one, I will show you guys how I do a thorough cleanup, you know, and get out all the stuff that's in there over the years, because I do it a little bit different. I mean, everybody does everything a little bit different, okay? But for the most part, when you watch people do their cleanups, it's the same old, same old. You take you wire wheel, you use a fiber wheel, you take and run your sandpaper down in the channels, you know, and then you lubricate, picking out with your picks or the tiny micro screwdrivers, you know, all of that is the same. One of the different things that I do, once I get all that initial cleanup with the wire wheel, fiber wheel, sandpaper, and picking, I take and I thoroughly lubricate it with WD-40, because WD-40 not only does it help lubricate, it's not a complete lubricant. If you notice, WD-40 is not a complete lubricant. It does aid in lubrication. WD-40 was initially made as a cleaner, okay, and it does help remove rust. So I drench it down with WD-40, and I move all the pivot sections, let it get into there thoroughly. And while it's drenching into the channels, I let it just absorb into the channels. And then what I do is, because everything has a gap in it, regardless of us eyeballing and saying, "Oh, look it, there's no gaps." Like this one, you could say this was built beautifully. There's no gaps, no flaws, but everything has a gap, regardless of how it's built. We may look at it and be like, "Holy crap, that's smooth, it's gap free," so on and so forth. But everything has a gap, everything has pores. Alright, so while that WD-40 is in there penetrating and lubricating and cleaning in the channel, I wait about a good 15-20 minutes of it being thoroughly drenched in there. And then I go outside and I use my air compressor and I blow down in that channel, so it actually forces stuff out of the back springs. It forces stuff out of your joints and everything. And then I go and re-lubricate it, and I do it one more time. So it's a 2-round process. Because if you ever notice, when you do your knife cleanups and you're over there, after your cleanup and you pull your blade up, you're always getting that nasty yuck that's coming up, and you're like, "Oh yeah, it's still working its way out." Well, using your air compressor, forcing everything out, you get so much more out of there. And I find that doing the 2-round process works a lot. You'll still, in your joints, when you put your actual lube onto there, when you actually put your actual lubricant, because the WD-40, I don't use that as a lubricant, I use it as a cleaner. It does help lube a little bit, but I don't use that as my long lasting lubrication. I use the Remington oil, and I'll put that in my pivots, and then I'll work my blade, And when you're working your blade, even after the 2 times of blowing it out, drenching it with the WD-40, you'll get a little bit of saturation coming out, just a little bit, but not much. And it doesn't last as long as just your normal cleanup and, doing that situation where it starts leaching out constantly. That's what I've found, and that's one of my little tricks. I don't know if you guys want to watch that or not, but I could do the full thorough cleanup on this one after the rebuild of the Moose Rat. And then, of course, we're going to do this beautiful, beautiful electrician's knife. And this one's going to need some scale replacement. So I'm kind of wondering if I'm debating. I'm so torn right now. I'm torn if I want to do the stag handles on the electrician's knife, or if I want to do the stag handles on the equal-ended Moose Rat. I am so torn right now, but either way, we're gonna get stag, we're gonna get clean, we're gonna get rebuilt, and all of that wonderful stuff. So you guys be ready. My box of toys. You guys get ready for some new stuff. Alright guys, you guys have a good one. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to see. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.